So hello and welcome to the Dharma Life podcast. I'm your host, Aloise Middleton, and this week I have with me a very dear friend and member of our Dharma community and gifted singer. And I really wanted to bring Anne onto our show today because she has the most amazing gift and she can heal with her voice. And so Anne Ryan, welcome to the Dharma Life podcast.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
You know me, I'm a massive supporter and advocate of anybody doing their Dharma. And this is so your Dharma, and it's just incredible. So I really wanted to share it with our audience. But Anne, do you mind giving the people listening a kind of little bit of information just about your background, you know, where you've come from and how you find yourself now with this incredible gift?
Sure, I would love to do that. Well, actually, I've been in a traditional background, being at a lawyer's office as a secretary, which wasn't that nice because I also have this creative side. So since I was 5, I started singing, and I found out that I was able to tune into people when I was singing. I went to study at the local choir, at the church choir, and that's where it started. And I knew that there was something about this singing. I felt that there was a call to it. But when I was singing like kind of weird stuff, like light language, people would be like, oh, she's kind of weird. So I stopped doing that for many, many years, you know. Basically, I took an education into music and singing. Mm-hmm. And that led me to work at the theater. So I have been a musical singer for years and also had my own concerts with traditional Barbra Streisand and Celine Dion, all the very tough things to sing. But it wasn't really, something was missing. And so 15 years ago, I started my own business. But again, I went out to search for where I could find the money instead of searching for doing my Dharma. So nice. I was giving workshops for companies and stuff like that. And I just managed, and I'm very good at teaching, but it didn't really resonate. And then suddenly for like half a year ago or so, I met you. I came across you and the Dharma Life Academy, where I'm a member today. And for the first time, I felt that I was in a tribe where it was safe to sing my light language and not be afraid of being judged by it. Normally, it's something I only do if I have a client. But here I felt that it was safe, and that has taken me into a totally different journey. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And I think that's the thing, isn't it, that we talk about in Dharma, is how by doing and being your authentic self, you then attract the opportunities that are correct for you. So it sounds to me like you almost had in your background, almost like a double life. You had the left brain and the right brain life. You had the left brain, obviously the analytical side being the legal secretary, and then you have the creative side kind of on the side. And now it's about bringing everything together and just having this confidence to really step into this beautiful gift that you've got. So can you maybe share with our audience how it kind of came? Because like I love to sing, and I've listened to people when they do kind of light language and everything, but I don't know how you go from singing to suddenly this higher place. So can you kind of share with them how this developed within you?
Well, I think it was, I studied for being a singing therapist, and getting to know about the chakras and getting to know how to sing the chakras.
Okay.
That opened up for me, just exploring singing intuitively. And from singing intuitively, I found that when you're grounded and you kind of go up through your spine and you connect to your higher self up into the source, that is where I just kind of hear the language or the sounds that are coming out. That has this, for me, it has a higher vibration. So Yeah, so that's how it works for
Wow.
me.
So do you do this, and is that the process you go through to then go to that place? Is it, so when you're singing for us today, you'll start in the root, will you, and you'll come up to the sacral, into the solar plexus, and come up to the heart. Is that how you start to connect in?
That's how I started when I didn't know about it. Today I can just
Right.
kind of
Okay.
center myself and I can just immediately
Wow.
snap into it and sing. Of course, I need to be grounded, and all the stuff we're talking about in Dharma, in growing your roots. And because if
Yes.
you don't do that, you just kind of flitter around
Yes. Of course.
and nothing works, because it doesn't have the grounding. And
Mm.
I think in order to get the high vibration where it has the healing effect, it is important for you, for the singer, of course, not to just fly off, but also for the people. They need the connection to the earth, and taking the line up to the source. I have the vision, it's like a golden thread going through my spine, and it goes up to the source. And when it's up there, I can open it like the lotus flower, and then it just
Hey.
pours down. And then when I'm done singing, I kind of close it in again. Yeah.
Ah,
So that's how
beautiful.
it works for me anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And that's exactly what we kind of do, isn't it? When we do our guided
Yeah,
activations and
totally.
meditations together. Yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of open our crown and let the energy come through. And I can totally see you doing workshops in teaching others. Like we should do one in Dharma and do a
Oh, yeah.
singing workshop. That would be amazing because we do obviously the activations and meditations, and we could incorporate that. That would be incredible.
I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, why
Let's do
not?
that. That could be fun.
And talk to me about the healing aspect as well, because you've discovered that obviously this light language, or this, this high vibrational frequency that's coming through you, also has a very healing impact and effect for people.
Yeah, I think there's two different things here. One is what you can do with your own sound. Actually, in Germany, they have singing hospitals.
Wow.
And yeah, and I was lucky to go and visit them. And because, I thought that I was the crazy one and nobody in Denmark was doing this stuff. And then suddenly I heard about them using singing, traditional singing in the hospitals. So I went to visit them. And what I teach people is actually using the hum, which is like, so you just pick a random note and you hold it for as long as possible. And what happens, because the body is more than 50% of fluid, you get your cells vibrating inside of
Ah,
you. And also, with people having stress and anxiety and stuff like that, you can help them ground just by using one note. And I
oh,
think that's quite amazing.
yeah.
And actually, I'm quite sure that, for instance, with cancer, I have been teaching cancer patients using this method. It's so simple. I really don't get it why it's not in every hospital.
Sure.
Because the cancer cells does not like that kind of vibration. But for the healthy cells, this is like, oh, I'm getting an inner massage. And, we're getting down in our body with the breath, because we're singing, we're using our voice. It doesn't matter if you can sing or not. And then you can take it up to your higher level, so you can connect and you can see the positive sides in life. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes total sense because obviously everything is energy, and everything is a vibration, and everything has a frequency. So why shouldn't you
Exactly.
have high vibrational healing frequencies that you can channel through you, that when people listen to, they help the body vibrate? It's kind of like what's it called? The solemn tones. I can't think of the name of it, but there's like
Oh,
these the solemn. I can't think of it. It's solemn.
oh, I'm sorry.
Can't
I don't think I
pronounce
know
it.
about that.
There are these tones, they're basically frequencies, and you can listen to them. And if you're depressed, for example, this tone will help you with depression. There's lots of different tones for different things, and so you can
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
it.
that's amazing. Yeah,
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 it sounds sort of similar. And
yeah.
so what's your vision then? Because obviously you're stepping into this work full time, and like obviously we talk about in Dharma, our Dharmic vision, what we're creating in the world. So I'd love for you to share that with our audience, because I know people out there will be able to support you in attracting those connections or whatever it is that you're looking to manifest in relation to your vision.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, actually, I would love to spread the word about what singing and sound can do in order to heal a person. And of course, I want to also share my voice in the work I do. When I make a concert, for instance, I put it together with a humming part, which I showed you, where people can hum together, and I will sing on top of that. I invite them to sing with what I write in normal Western English, traditional language, like for instance, I am light. So when we sing a line, it's also always positive because it helps the brain to relax. And finally, I connect it with singing the light language, where I tune in and what I receive is what you get. And I would love to go out into the world with this. Actually, the funny stuff about being in Dharma, right after I started there and I started going out into the world and deciding to do this, one of my old clients, she contacted me and said, I have had breast cancer in my other breast. And the only thing I can think about right now is that I'm going into a state of fear and I'm going into a state of a lower vibration. Can you help me get a higher vibration? Because the only thing I can think about is listening to your voice. So actually that made me make my first playlist, which I have called Peace, which I am selling right now. And that actually came from being part of Dharma, because she then contacted me and said, so how can you help me when I'm in this place full of fear and anxiety? Yeah.
Amazing.
So of course, I need to do more of that stuff as well.
Well, this is what we talk about in Dharma. So Anne has come through the Do Your Dharma program. And one thing that we talk about in that is how your purpose unveils itself when you have the courage to take the action. And what we do in Dharma is we create the what. We work out what we want. So Anne is, she's basically saying that she wants to do this full time for a living. And then you want to do concerts to be able to support people who are healing. What else do you want, Anne? What is it that you going around the world delivering these amazing high vibrational concerts?
Well, the ultimate thing would be to have this out in the hospitals, so people could listen to it. So they could have like earpods in and, listen to it and taking the vibration in. Normally for the playlist, when in the beginning I coach or tell people, I visualize with them, I make them visualize themselves into a better place, which we also work with in Dharma. And I help them to get into a normal breathing so they don't hyperventilate. All this in order to be better prepared to take in the positive vibration in a higher level. And of course, get a quicker healing out of it. Yeah.
So basically the vision is then to be able to have this in healing centers, in hospitals, to really work with it as a modality so that it can help and support humanity.
Yes.
And then what we go through in Dharma is that actually that is unveiled when you have the courage to take the action. So how interesting that client came to you, and obviously that's how it works. You kind of now have created that playlist, and I presume that's available for people if they want to purchase it. And now you've got your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. I also built up a YouTube channel where I once a week post something. It can be a song, an intuitive heart song, together with nature, pictures of nature, because actually we can cheat our brain. So just by looking at pictures, even if you're under lockdown and whatever crazy stuff is happening in the world right now, you can look at pictures and you can listen to the vibration and you can get centered and back in peace. So you can figure out what is important for me right now. What is it my soul desires? So I do that. And I also do the Heal Your Heart singing. And of course, I put out how you can use sound on your own and how you get started with using humming, for instance. So that's all on my YouTube channel right now. Yeah.
What's the link? And then we'll get people to go there for you.
Oh, if you go and just search for my name, Anne Ryom.
Okay, on YouTube. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should give these beautiful people listening some a treat
Sure.
and
Yeah.
get them to hear this. I can already feel that I'm going to go into a really beautiful connected state. So I'm going to ground myself so I can really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, ground yourself, which means basically put your feet flat on the floor and send your energy down through the floor. And then, yeah, let's hear this amazing frequency.
Nusura. Nusura. Mera fuidia cariei. Nusura. Wanda Maria, Wanda Maria, Saranei para quem salida. Saura figarani, asarani aurani Sura kaurani Sura fuiudirasi Sura kaurani fuedeni karane Sanadea fue querida, su herida. Juana Yarani, Juana Yarani, Juana Yarani.
beautiful. Thank you. Wow. Whew.
Um,
Got lovely. Well, I just have huge amounts of energy moving through my body and through my system. And it's really interesting when the higher points, I could really feel it even open even more. It's quite incredible.
it's kind of like a highway or something, so it can take you up to higher and higher level, isn't
Yeah.
it? Or that's for me anyway. That's how I experience it.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just like you said, so peaceful, almost just so like it feels like such a high vibrational place and state. And you can just let go and just be in that moment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think, where humanity is right now, it is so important to help people step out of the fear, step out of the anxiety and the stress, and give them this break where they can really connect, and where, for those who are ready for it, they
Yes,
can be able to connect to a higher level. Yeah. I
absolutely.
think the thing about heart songs, which this is that it's already always in a tempo where it's like a kind of a lullaby, because our system, just from being born, getting into this earth, we are getting into a lower state of vibration, just finding into our own inner source from being rocking, like when we rock a baby real gently.
Mm.
And that's exactly what I feel, that this singing, when you have a heart song and you sing it
It's
in
like
this
being
tempo,
held. It feels
yeah,
like
you're
you're
being
being
held.
held. Yeah,
Yeah,
energetically.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. And can you maybe share with us some examples of people you've worked with where if this has been a really beneficial for their recovery?
Well, there's different types of course, there's all the people I've been working with cancer,
Yes.
where they use their own sound, and they also listen to this in order to, when they're out of balance, this can help them get back into balance. And I truly believe that we have to find our inner source, our inner grounding, in order to be able to heal ourselves. And so I'm not an advocate for talking about not going into hospitals or using doctors or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we have the possibility to help heal with ourselves. That's all inside of us, in the vibration that is in us. So, for instance, I got a message back from this one who, the client I talked to earlier about the breast cancer. And she said, from being so in a fearful place and being really have to throw up and all that stuff, when she listened to the music and right after she could connect, she was out of fear, she was out of pain, and she was feeling this is going to be okay.
Mm.
So as you just mentioned, she could be held. So that is one part of it. Then there's when I have had working with one-on-one, and people are like, I can't figure out what I need to connect to. Then I can sing them into this balance. I can sing to their body and their source. And from there, they can visit their higher place in order to get the solution for how am I going to deal with this situation I'm in right now. And that's all posted on my website, which is
Nice.
also, of course, yeah.
So
So,
basically,
yeah,
it's helping them essentially get aligned, getting back into balance so they're
exactly.
connected to
Yeah.
their higher self, and then they can
Yes.
find their own guidance.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly.
well, that's the thing, isn't it? Often when we're given, chronic disease, they say, oh, you've got so and so long to live. And it's like the worst thing you can do. So being able to get back into harmony with yourself and back into harmony and balance with yourself enables you then to connect to your guidance and your higher purpose and your higher self to enable them to help you and support you.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then the other thing that's obviously really interesting is obviously, music has been so tampered with. 435 hertz is known as the healing frequency of the planet, and music used to be at that kind of frequency, and obviously it all got completely discombobulated, purposefully almost, because the powers that be knew how healing music can be for people. So hopefully all of that is now coming back around in this golden age.
I think the time is now for the healing aspect of the music to be, because I think that music is much stronger than anybody knows yet, you know. Just like water can, crush everything, music used in the wrong way can do exactly the same. And that's why it's so important that we take care of it and we give it in the right doses. So, for instance, going out shopping and listening to music just for hearing it, because then you get in a brain state where you keep putting things into your wagon and you go and so it's kind of being brainwashed in some kind. So it's important to get back to this music where it's simple and healing. Actually, I think this is what we did millions of years ago, or hundreds, thousands of years ago.
Atlantis and Lemuria, it was all about the healing frequencies and the healing chambers. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, we'll have to check, Anne. We'll have to check your past lives and see if you didn't come through in that first reading, but I bet you've had. Well, because it's so true. Once you start to dig a bit deeper, like I had lives as a spiritual teacher, so I bet you've done this before in past lives.
Oh, I'm sure I have been a high priestess and I have been working with this, but I've never said it in public before, because, the fear of the world we are living in, or are you being judged for having that feeling? But I really have the feeling that it's pouring through me, and it's not just from this life. I had this experience from earlier,
Yeah. And that's why finding a tribe is so important. We embrace anything like that. It's like your superpower, it's like we're activating. And I do believe by coming together as a community, we're activating each other.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
And supporting each other and loving each other and going, you can do it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and there's always someone that you can turn to and you can say, oh, I'm a bit down over this. Yeah, I believe in you and I'll be there for you. And then you get lifted up, and then of course you can do it. Yeah. And I think that's also what you said about going into the hospitals or being sick, or if you're in a work environment where you are not aligned, you get into lower vibrations. So we have to put each other up and help each other with whatever gifts we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic.
So thank you for getting me to be brave enough to step out.
No, not at all. I think it's, it's our sole purpose. This is your gift to the world, and the world needs it. And I think, the more you step into it and the more we share this with people, the more you will just attract the right situation and the right people and the right, the right circumstances for you really to step into this even more fully. So if you're listening to this and you are moved by Anne's beautiful singing, then please do get in touch with her. Please go and follow her YouTube channel. We'll have all her contact details in the show notes. But yeah, if there's any opportunities that you think Anne might be able to support you with, then please get in touch with her. But Anne, thank you so much. So beautiful. Loved it. Yeah, really, really loved it. And we'll have to do something in the community. I think we should do some type of, I don't know, we'll work it out, but I think it'll be amazing.
That'll be fun. I'd love it. And thank you so much for having me. It's such a privilege. I'm very touched and moved for your work and all you do for the communities. So thank you.
And we will see you next week with another amazing guest doing their Dharma on the Dharma Life podcast. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group, and also please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to. Tag me on Instagram and I will reshare your post, and please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.